Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Alex StarCraft here. It is about 1 in the morning. I just got my internet working, and I am so freaking pumped to do some StarCraft 2 casting. We have a very good game, I hope, on our hands. Two good players, at least. In the bottom left-hand corner, it's the orange Terran player, Quantic Illusion. He is, of course, a member of Quantic Gaming. He's about 17 or 16 years old, goes to high school in the same county that I did, lives probably within an hour of my house, but way better at StarCraft than me. And in the top right-hand corner, we have none other than Team Liquid's everyone's favorite Team Liquid Protoss player who is Korean, I guess. One of the most popular Team Liquid players and one of the most successful as well. It's Liquid Hero. And he is such a hero to the team and to us all with his crazy Warp Prism play and amazing control. But Illusion is no walkover by any means. He is known to take games off of very good players despite his extremely young age, and has definitely proved himself time after time. I remember watching him in the Red Bull Battlegrounds, and he did indeed take a game off Stefano, and it was a close series. It was by no means a steamroll, keeping in mind that Stefano has steamrolled over almost every professional player there is out there. But enough about him. He's not in this game. Quantic Illusion is doing something silly here. He's building a refinery. What does that tell us, guys? What says he's not going for a gasless expand? Because he has a gas. Normally in this matchup, you will see the Terran players go ahead. They will, build a supply depot, build a barracks, get their orbital command, some marines, a bunker, and just throw down a command center. But that is not what we're seeing right now. Right now, we are seeing him go for some kind of a tech-based play. Exactly what, I do not know. But hey, we'll find out soon. He's got the barracks about to finish. That'll cue the orbital command as well as the marine. But we will be seeing a factory as soon as he has that 100 gas, and he did get that up very quickly. Did he actually go for a gas first? I think he might have, though I might just not know my timings entirely correctly, so it's fine, whatever. What's Hero doing? He, I would say, is going to go for a standard 1-gate expand, though it is not a totally standard 1-gate expand, just because of the fact that he has 2 gases, each of which is mining with 2 probes. That tells you he wants to go for something that, well, think about it. You guys might be confused. It's like 2 gases. Well, he's getting twice as much gas. Normally, 3 probes on gas is 128 income for the gas each minute. Put a 4th on, aka 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll have a little bit more. You can still get that expansion at about the same time, but it will indeed let you tech a little quicker. You can see some really cool Colossi timings and stuff resulting from this. And Hero has stolen gas from his opponent, and this is a response, no doubt, to the fact that his opponent went for that first gas. He knows, if I build this gas, by the way, assimilators have twice as much health as any other thing. Look at that, 500 health, 900 health. Extractors have about as much as a refinery. Anyway, I digress. Basically, what he was saying is, okay, Illusion, I know you want to be kind of aggressive. I know you might want to go for some kind of a 1-1-1, maybe, cloaked Banshee, something ridiculous like that. But by taking the second gas, he's telling Illusion, no, you're not going cloaked Banshee. No, you're not going for a really tech-heavy 1-1-1, maybe involving a Raven and Banshee, something like that, because you simply cannot do it without that second gas. You have to have that second gas. So Quantic Illusion, realizing that, did indeed throw down the command center quite a while back. It's over 60% of the way complete now. And that'll put him in okay shape versus the Protoss that I thought would be 2-base, but I just wasn't paying attention. He's going Stargate. I'm so confused. I do not know my PvT this well. I, of course, do not play Protoss, nor do I play Terran, but I try my best to cast it. But Quantic Illusion, quite a few Hellions and quite a few Marines. That is actually all he has been churning out of the factory. That is, of course, units that require minerals only, and despite the fact that Hellions are not the best against Stalkers, they can still kill one, because they can outrun it. Hero does have a probe down here. I guess he's maybe going to try and check for a 3rd command center. Could make a proxy pylon and could just run it up in here. But he has quite a few Phoenixes on the field. I'm very curious to see what he's going to do with this. Has a bunch of sentries. And I did see this kind of play the other day on this very map. but it was a PvP and they were going Phoenixes. They infinitely force fielded the ramp. I'm just curious because generally people seem to think, well, Stargate's not that good against Terran because they have Marines, and it's kind of true. It is something you have to have a very specific goal in mind when you're doing it. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just going to make me some Void Rays because Marines will slaughter them. However, with something like a Phoenix, if you have something in mind for how to use them, such as gaining a lot of map control like Hero might want to do, or harassing the worker line, they can be great. But all of a sudden, Illusion running in a bunch of Marines, running in a bunch of Hellions to a natural that's not yet done, but he might be able to deny it. Yeah, Hero definitely does not have enough ground units in order to push out and save that, I would not think. Yeah, no, not without those Hellions. The Guardian Shield will help. One force field does go up. It's not a perfect force field, but it does stop him for the time being. Hero going to be forced to cancel that? Oh, God. Okay, he does cancel at the last second. I thought he might opt to not cancel that, but he does indeed choose to do so. And we do have a robotics facility on the way from Hero, but all of a sudden he's having a very bad time. He is behind on bases, and he is not been able to do any damage to Illusion. Look at the units lost. Hero's lost more than twice as much as Illusion. Illusion just going to continue to contain him, will not let his opponent expand, and is just going to take control of this game, get his macro going. Lose maybe a few workers. Not sure if any of those were to Phoenixes. I almost said Phoeni. But, you know, he's doing pretty good regardless. He is up on worker count. He is up on base count. He is up in army supply. Though, again, Marine Hellion, not the best against Stalkers. And once this Observer pops, it will, of course, give Hero some vision on the map. It will let him see not only where this is, but what his opponent is doing. But he is trying to do some harassment with the Phoenix. He is going to run them into the worker line, picks off one, picks off the Mule, very crucial. Protoss players, if you're ever, or actually no, anyone, if you're ever harassing a Terran, pick off a Mule first, assuming it has a fair amount of time on it. That one, for example, was just dropped. Now Hero is in the main base. He's picked off a few more workers. He's picked off one more than when I last checked, but he also got a Mule, which is really going to hurt his opponent's incoming. Oh, very nice. The Hellions are indeed light, so they get killed very, very quickly by those Phoenixes. And Hero, it seems, has broken the contain, but his expansion is going up after his opponent's already mined about 100 minerals from his own expansion, and he is going to be getting a robotics bay, which is of course a solid option. But Quantic Illusion is starting on that medevac production. What does that mean? It means he can switch over to Viking production whenever he really needs to do so. And if he manages to do that at the right time, he'll both have medevacs and enough Vikings to hold off his opponent when that time comes and he does that Colossus push. Now, the Phoenix are still doing a great job retaining map control for Hero. You see how active is he being. We're just going to watch these things for a second as they fly all over the map, picking off quite a few workers. We see his APM hovering around 250, though Quantic Illusion is not far behind. He needs to not lose them to the Marines, and he has still not lost a single Phoenix this entire game. In total, they have picked off, let's see, 2 units, 3 units, 0, and 7 units for that one Phoenix. He's up to 6 worker kills. Oh, I was looking at the wrong one. He's up to 6 worker kills. So he had 0, and then he killed 3. Now he's killed 6. But there's going to be a push coming from Illusion, and those Phoenix are not going to help you very much here. Force Fields will, though. Force Fields will help you here. He does have a Colossus about to finish. If he can just postpone until then, he will be in good shape, and he has enough force fields to do so. He force fields off a few Marines, and he's going to be able to pick those off. I think Illusion was going for a sentry there and actually did get it, but he still has a solid 2 force fields left. By time those are done, he'll have enough for a third. But Illusion is just going to pull back for a second. His opponent will not know where his army is right this second. He's going to check for a third expansion. And the first Colossus is out for Hero. But do we have any sort of thermal lance? No, we don't. He does not yet have the economy for that. So, unfortunately for him, those Colossi only have range 6, so it's still bigger than any of these armies, and that is probably not a good engagement for Quantic Illusion. He knows he needs to keep the pressure on. That is... he needs to keep it on so his opponent's army does not get so strong that even though he had such a big advantage early game, that he is going to be taken out. He is trying to engage, but Colossi just tear apart Marines that are low on health. They have no Marauder support, no Viking support, and no upgrades either. Does he have +1 attack? Okay, yes, he has +1 attack, +1 armor, about to finish, just as Hero throws down the double forge. So if Illusion gets his armory, gets an engineering bay, and stays on top of his upgrades, he could probably stay on par or ahead of Hero, but he will have to get right on top of them as this third command center goes down alongside of the fourth gas. Hero only just grabbing these two, been mining for about a minute or two, but adding on a whole bunch of gateways. Would still love to see Thermal Lance coming out soon, though he might just be letting his opponent get those Vikings, thinking he's going to need to deal with a lot of Colossi, and all of a sudden he could try and make a switch to Charge Archon, High Templar, even Dark Templar, something like that, that would immediately render those Vikings almost useless. Though Illusion is building a turret, one back here. He's building another turret somewhere. Okay, he's building another turret here. I guess he is maybe worried a little bit about Warp Prism, maybe about an Observer going in his mineral line, though I don't know if there's a reason for that. And this is why Illusion is really, really good, and I'm not. So, the Phoenix are going to be running in here, killing the SCVs. Note, they're picking the SCVs off of gas. This makes your opponent, one, not only lose gas, but two, it's a little bit harder to put new workers on gas than it is to put them on minerals, if that makes sense. You pick them off gas, they have to select them and do it instead of just queuing 2 workers. So those little things over the course of a game will add up, and my god, Hero's APM, or Quantic Illusion's APM, so high right now, was about 200 when I opened it up. The Phoenix have indeed cornered the factory, and that is going to fall off into space. We will watch it. Can I turn the screen? Luckily, I didn't miss anything too epic going on the map. I do want to take note of this pylon placement, very key, because it will allow him to see any drops that are coming. So, Illusion, though, like a boss, is going to fly in there. He's going to pick off that pylon. He knows that could help him later if he chooses to drop. But he's pushing into the third expansion. Sees no third, but sees a probe that tells him that his opponent intended to take it. But Quantic Illusion, with a significantly larger army supply, is going to be running in here now. Is he going to be able to take out his opponent? I'm trying to do the thing where it removes the interface, but it's not actually working. It's just giving me Hero's vision. But Illusion doesn't want to take a bad engagement here. The bad engagement, bad positioning could make the difference between a win and a loss, and he opts to pull back. He knows that engagement would not have favored him. But in the meantime, he got up a third expansion. He's transferring a boatload of SCVs back there, adding on barracks, starting on that 2-2. But oh, Illusion, I feel like you started that 2-2 a little bit late. Your opponent's already catching up to you. His own 2-2 is on the way, and he's chrono boosting it, or he has the ability to. And that chrono boost, of course, makes buildings build 50% faster, aka 1.5 speed. So basically how long does this take? A 190 second upgrade will instead take whatever a third of 190 is, or roughly 63 seconds less. So what is that? It will take 126 seconds instead of 190. So he can catch up very quickly because, well, Illusions cost 190 and there's nothing he can do about it. But he does have a significantly larger army than his opponent for the time being. He's 140 to 95 supply. I feel like we're watching a ZVP where the Zerg is just going for huge numbers of roaches. And earlier, it looks like Hero just didn't want to make Colossi for a bit. He did indeed. He got that Thermal Lance. He got a whole bunch of Colossi, and he is ready for that engagement. How many Vikings does Illusion have? Illusion currently has 8 Vikings, which is a pretty good number for this many Colossi. He might want a few more, but of course he wants to make sure he does not have too small of an infantry ball, because that is that balance that is required in Protoss vs. Zerg. The Terran needs to make a decision. How many Vikings do I want? How many bio units do I want? Because, of course, enough Vikings, you can one-shot the Colossi, but if you don't have a ground army, it's not going to help you. Hero is going to be running down here. We see Quantic Illusion doing some Jaedong. Vikings getting ready to pick off those Colossi. They have enough of them to two-shot them, but oh my god, the Colossi barely lives, and Illusion losing quite a few Vikings right there. That was unfortunate. Oh my god, the carnage is awful. Those SCVs just got destroyed, and all of a sudden I'm a little bit worried for Illusion. He did a major stim right there. Every single unit did not get anything out of it. We see he's lost about 2,000 more resources than his opponent, lost 4 Vikings and did not kill a single Colossi, stimming back a few units, trying to hold off Hero's army, delay them a little bit, but wants to make sure not to lose them, and Hero is expanding behind this once more. Twilight Council is just about to finish charge, and that is really going to help out here. We see his Zealot count is very, very high, and his upgrades are getting there as well. He's not yet started 3-3, which Illusion has, and every second that Illusion can get there is going to help him out. Once it reaches about 63 seconds done, he's automatically going to have equal upgrades to Hero the rest of the game. If Hero doesn't start them soon, you will have a timing window. He'll have those bigger upgrades, and 3-3 Marine Marauder Medevac, I don't think there's a scarier thing in the world as Illusion runs in here. Is it going to be enough? Hero splitting up his army pretty well, but the Colossi do so much damage. The Vikings are all dying. He's not going to be able to kill any Colossi, and my god, all of a sudden, look at that units lost. Hero has lost less than half of what his opponent has. Storm is on the way. That'll only make him more cost efficient, and Quantic Illusion is probably like, holy freaking crap, that was not a good engagement. I just had a very, very bad time. If you play against Liquid Hero ever, you're probably going to have a bad time trying to get that Concave here, but he does not have Vikings. His opponent has charge, and those Colossi, watch their damage as all 6 lasers shoot at once, or 5, whatever. I guess it's 10 technically, but they do so much damage, constantly pushing back Illusion, and he is on the run. He has a few Marines in here to help with drops, but I don't think that's going to help with these bad boys right here. These Colossi, 5 of them doing 19 damage times 2 to multiple units. Beautiful EMPs go down from Quantic Illusion, but I'm still not sure if it'll be enough. He got every single unit, but we see he simply does not have enough to back that up, and he is going to fall to Hero in this first game, reinforcing in, pulling SCVs off the line, but throws out the vertical GG, a stylistic thing coming out of the younger players on the scene. Those lasers just barely coming out of the Protoss Colossi, and my god, is this a beautiful scene or what? I just think it's kind of epic right here, except for the fact that it's SCVs. If it was like Marines, that would be cooler, but this just looks pretty baller right now. The one thing I was going to say, as I was talking about these Colossi, 5 of them doing 19 damage times 2 to multiple units with a range of 9. That's essentially 38 times 5 damage every 1.65 seconds. They're basically doing about 150 damage every second, or about 150-ish damage every second to multiple units. A scarier thing I could not think of. Illusion, though, gonna stay resilient. This is the first game in a best of 3. I'm very excited to bring the rest to you guys, so stay tuned. Have a wonderful evening. Get some rest from me, because I'm probably not going to.